So you know what we haven't talked about a lot this year?
What's that?
The ACT. We've talked a lot about the ACT.
No.
Like, we've talked about the ACT, but like the actual structure of the ACT, like how the test works. Yeah. I think today we should actually talk about the test itself. Like, what is the ACT? Let's talk about it. I think we should actually do it. Okay, let's do it. Okay.
And I'm scared as hell because there's no way to know this goes. But I can't help but say I promise to give you my all. But it might break me. It might break me. Break me. It might break me. Break me. It might break me down.
No, Sarah, you're doing. Welcome to EVTV for Thursday, November the
19th?
You gotta, yes, 19th. You've got to talk loud because I'm talking loud.
19th?
The 19th, 2020. We are creeping ever so slowly towards 2021. Hallelujah. We are fingers crossed that it is going to be a better year than 2020. Sarah, any comments?
I've seen many memes saying that it's going to be 11:60 on December 31st instead of 11:59 to midnight. I've heard so many memes saying that 2020 will never end. It doesn't feel like it will, to be honest.
We have the Christmas lights up today because Sarah has been bugging me.
No, don't let him lie to you. I asked him 2 weeks ago. One time I was like, well, when November started and we were talking about Christmas decorations, I was like, do we decorate in here? He's like, yeah, we have lights. And I was like, okay, so why don't we go ahead and put them up? I haven't said anything since then. So don't let him lie to you.
Multiple times.
No.
Yes. Mm-mm. She's like a 6-year-old. She just keeps pressing and pressing and pressing until you give in. Now, Sarah, I'm not done. You said yesterday, and I just watched the episode when we were talking about the phones, the large phones, and you said some students need a large phone because
they need to do schoolwork.
They need to do schoolwork. I would say to you, you can get a fantastic iPad on Amazon, refurbished, for about $250. If you really want a nice one, you could go about $350. Those phones, those Pro Maxes, are like $1,400.
Not anymore. For the 11 Pro Max, not anymore.
Okay.
From what I've heard.
It's $1,300. They've knocked $100 off of it. If you want a large tablet, buy an iPad. Okay, we're moving on from that subject because you're going to just get me down in the weeds again. I promised everybody yesterday a story about Sarah and the Lander Center. It is fantastic. Now, for those of you who don't know, Sarah, tell them about your work, what you do at the Lander Center.
So, the band kids go into the stands and work so we can pay off our band fees, because some of us be big broke.
Stop right there. Stop right there. They don't work in the stands. They work in
the concession stands. No. When I say stand, I mean concession stands, because on the door by the concession stand it says stand and then number. So
I asked Sarah the other day a very simple question. Trent was with me. He was interested as well. How is Lander Center taking precautions for events during COVID? Sarah started talking
about what we do,
about the safety measures in the concession stand. I'm worried they can't hear you. In the concession stand. Well, Mr. Lewis, to be safe, we have to wear gloves. What are
in the concession stand?
She went on and on about the gloves and all of the safety measures in the concession stands, when clearly I was talking about like the actual seating, the stand, the bowl. How are they spacing people out? And then she went again she said, well, the stands are safe. She's talking about concession stands. I'm talking about people sitting in the Lander Center.
But both can be called stands. You have to be specific about what kind of stand you're talking about.
If I want popcorn or nachos, I'm going to concessions. I'm not going to the stands. I understand that. Even Trent understood that. You even got Trent tickled, and it's hard to get Trent tickled early in the mornings.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is, because he's been gaming till 3 a.m. Even Trent was entertained by the notion that you kept saying stands and kept talking about the safety measures in the concession stands.
Can we just agree to disagree that I say dumb stuff sometimes and that you be acting dumb because you don't know the difference between a stand and a freaking...
Please tell us.
No.
A what?
No. The seats.
The Civic Center. The actual...
Yeah, the seating.
I see where she's coming from.
Thank you.
But we would call the actual seats the stands.
I guess you would call them. I think she's thinking you would call it an arena.
That's what we call it.
Okay. From now on, we'll call the bowl the arena. And if you talk to Sarah and you say the stands, she's straight up talking about concessions. She's not talking about the actual seating stands.
No, the only things that I call stands are the Landers concession stands, or if we're at a football game, those are stands.
Yeah, because they're standing.
Okay.
On the thing.
Okay.
I see where she's coming from.
Thank you, Kayla.
If you say stands, you're not talking about concessions. You need to say concession stands if you want to put stands in the word, or you can just shorten it and say concessions, because most people just say concessions if that's what they're talking about. Or they just say, I want to go to the little, nacho portal and get my nachos. If they can't figure out what to call it all.
What is a nacho portal?
A nacho portal is, you would call it the stands. You were the only one who would call it the stands. Hey, we actually do have something to legitimately talk about today, and it is the ACT. Okay, now we've talked a lot about the ACT, and I understand that, but some of you who may have never taken the ACT before, you still might not admit to someone that you don't fully understand the test itself, like how it's structured. Do you know how is the ACT structured?
It's structured into 4 tests.
Look at you.
Math, science, English, and reading. And actually, I want to give everybody a quick tip. I don't know if a lot of people probably know this, but this is just in case. So if you're finished and you're halfway done with your test, right? And you have 5 minutes left, fill in all your blanks with one answer choice, and then go back to the question that you had to start asking, and then erase and go as you go. So that when you finish and you're not really finished, everything's still bubbled in.
Look at that. She might not know the term for concession stands, but that is a fantastic advice for the ACT. She's gone in the closet. We have a video because we went to the Get to College Center last year and talked to them about the ACT.
So I thought I locked myself in the closet because at first it wasn't opening. I was gonna scream and I had a mini heart attack. Okay, okay, I'm done.
So the ACT is a 4-part test. You've got your English, your reading, your math, and your science. So you're going to take English first. It's 45 minutes of English, 75 questions. The math section is going to be a full hour, 60 minutes, 60 questions. So you've got a minute per question on each of those. And then each of the reading and science are both going to be 35 minutes long with 40 questions. The ACT is important for a couple of different reasons. One of the main reasons, scholarship money. So students are always looking for scholarship dollars, and the ACT is going to equal that. Depending on the school that you're attending, across Mississippi, I would say a pretty surefire way to get some sort of scholarship money is a 20. A 20 on the ACT is a very important mark. Lots of schools start their scholarships at a 20 or somewhere around that range. I would say the highest in Mississippi right now is around a 23. So you'll see anywhere from $1,000 to ranging up from there based on your ACT score. But even taking it a step back from scholarship dollars, you have to have an ACT score to get admitted. So with our four-year public institutions, each of those require at least a 16 on the ACT with a 2.5 GPA or an 18 on the ACT with a 2.0 GPA. The Get to College Center is a college prep company. We are a college planning company that assists in every part of the planning process, but the ACT is one of those big college planning components, and we know students are always looking to increase those scores. We have free workshops here at our center. We do them every Saturday and Tuesday before the national test date. So our next one's coming up will be in September. So we have September the 7th and September the 10th. We also have plenty of ACT resources on our website. That's where you can sign up for the workshops, as well as check out our YouTube channel. So we have all of our tips on our YouTube channel, and we even have a short podcast, a short 30-minute podcast that we made that gives you tips and strategies for the ACT. Some other places to find ACT resources. ACT Academy is a great place. That's actually through the official company ACT. So you can go to academy.act.org, so academy.act.org, for free resources. So you have a chance to take some practice tests on that website, and it's all free, which is great. But even just taking practice tests, so you can go to your counselor's office and they have free practice tests. So you can take the test. It's just like the real thing. All of the answers are in the back of the book, so you can see the questions that you're missing most frequently, and that also helps eliminate some of those careless mistakes and careless errors. That's one of the biggest things we see with students is you don't have a lot of time on the ACT, so you're going really quickly, and even some questions that you know for sure you can get right, you miss them because you're going so quickly that you make some careless mistakes and careless errors. So taking practice tests ahead of time gives you a chance to eliminate some of those small careless errors. For the English section, I would say study your basics. So subject-verb agreement and punctuation and grammar. Those are the three biggest things. So your basic grammar tips, and then hit punctuation hard, because there's a lot of times where you're going to see punctuation on the English section. For math, you're going to have a lot of algebra and geometry. So study triangles. Triangles, huge deal there. As much as you can learn about triangles, the better you're going to be. So triangles and circles are a huge deal. And study your formulas. That's huge. You don't get a formula sheet, so you're going to want to study all of the formulas that you possibly can. Get those in your head before test day. Have those memorized. Reading and science. So with the reading section, just find a strategy that works for you. Either if you're a strong reader, read the whole passage and then start working on the questions, or if you feel like you need to read the questions first, have an idea of what they're going to ask, then you can go back and start skimming the passage and trying to find the answers to those questions.
That's it for today's episode. Here in Horn Lake, we are
Better students, always going and expecting more. Stay tuned for your lunch menus and athletic schedules. See you here tomorrow. Have a fantastic day.
See the stars. Let them tell us where we should start. And I'm scared as hell, because there's no way to know how this goes. But I can't help but say, I promise to give you my all. But it might break me. It might break me. Break me. It might break me. Break me. It might break me down. I won't let you down. But it might break me. Break me. It might break me. Break me. It might break me down. The sight of you, it makes me dizzy. And when you're gone, I miss your face. Tonight I'll meet you in our favorite place. And just can't let this wait one more day. But I'm scared as hell, and there's just no way